people come up to me with their conservative beliefs and like, can you believe Los Angeles? I'm like, yeah, it's awful. It's pretty bad. Like, Gavin Newsom isn't doing his job. And they're like, yeah, Trump, he has come in and he is getting just so many of these illegal immigrants out, and we needed that. And I'm like, what is it about me? So you can come up to me in a public setting and say this. What? It was... Right, don't worry about it. I clicked start, dude. I swear to fucking God.
That's alright. We're going then. We're even close to ready.
It's less to cut.
So we're officially recording now?
Yes.
That's fun.
That's fun.
Alright, well, welcome to what I guess would be, episode 2 of season 2, according to
our fans, it's season 2.
That was so sweet of you. Not that professional, but girl, we love you.
Yeah, thanks for watching us. We love what we do, but we know we are not the best.
So, I don't know, apparently today, Raquel's going to talk to me about it must have been news, not on my end of the algorithm. That's going to be something fun that y'all will figure out. We're going to be, actually diving into algorithm and stuff over the course of our lives, not this episode necessarily.
I understand the algorithm is just totally different.
Oh, yeah.
Our show will be referenced one day.
Even I think in the household, if you actually dove into your partners, but who's going to open up to their partner about that?
Exactly.
We're going to have to just get raw with each other, girl.
I know. We should do... You know what would be a great episode? Is if we, traded phones. I mean, we'd have to, archive and lock folder a lot of things, but you know what I mean? Or just trade Facebooks. We could trade Facebooks. We could,
No interaction allowed except for school.
You know how crazy things are to, they're just so personalized to us, we can't even imagine. Can you imagine having my Facebook for a week? Or just my phone for a week?
You drawn into somebody else's Reddit account?
It's insane.
Before, it, is scary.
Even getting on someone else's Netflix account. You're like, I've never seen these shows in my life.
Yeah.
Where did Netflix...
Everybody's living in a different world.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Everybody's living a different perspective. Just love each other. So
yeah.
We're here exploring. Today, she's going to talk to me about, I guess, a manslaughter case that is leading to new CDL laws, executive order, Trump supported,
yes,
raw, but everybody's mad about him.
Mostly the liberals are mad about it because of their, bleeding hearts for everyone that's not American.
All right, we'll see how we feel about it. I don't know anything about it yet.
We'll see what Team Amanda feels about it. Team Mandy.
I kind of want to hear what Raquel knows already about giants.
I actually know so much about giants. I'm really excited.
Makes sense with a religious background, actually.
Oh, yes.
I forget.
Yes, I defended giants fiercely against my significant other.
Fun!
Yes, so this will be
giants. And weather modification, of course. It's true to my heart.
She's not giving up on this.
I'm not giving up on
No,
this.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
It shows your commitment to weather modification. You guys will never get to see, and maybe one day we'll upload a really bad echo episode. But it's about the 5th time Amanda has talked about weather modification. And the reason being is because, of course, you guys know the algorithm took some of our videos. And then our last video that we filmed with weather modification is all echoes. And we cannot remove the echoes.
Wait, did we talk about weather modification in that episode?
Yes.
Oh, that's really convenient for me that it was echoey and unusable, because I didn't even realize that when I planned this conversation today. I talked about it that many times.
So important weather modification because of Amanda about 15 years ago.
It's not even that it's convincing or not. It's finally now just common knowledge.
It's when people are
that's the part that for me, it's my
or I believe in evolution. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah, but my son is a little over 2 years old. When he was a baby child, I was talking about the Mori.
The monkey grip?
Yeah, and I was talking about how, had hair and they would, cling on like animals. It's just that,
Right.
And this person responds with, you don't believe in that evolution stuff, do you? And I was like,
I mean,
Okay.
believe is a strong... Define belief. You mean that it happened and we have factual evidence of it? Yes, I do.
Blew my mind a little bit on that one. Just, yeah.
Yeah.
You never know who you're talking to, even if you think you know who you're talking to, I
Even
guess.
if you do, dude. Even at work, I will not relinquish where I work, but I do work in customer service. And I get people, it must be my face. Maybe you're right about my look. Because I'm just like, I'm forced to be like, mm-hmm.
I feel like where we live, you can have blue hair and they still come up to you and assume that
No.
guns and such.
I've actually been told that it's specifically because I don't have blue hair or a middle nose ring. That's what I have been told.
Maybe.
Yes, and our area plays a factor in it. But just think about it across the pond, over in our next state over. They would totally have a problem with people coming up and saying that. They even say that they have to be very careful, like what they say over in like a place like Seattle.
Seattle's different. That's a whole new dude. They tried to create their whole little like mini country. They did
during COVID. Wasn't that crazy?
Wasn't that?
They were trying to divorce from the government. Yeah. As their own place.
Don't hold my word to it.
Yeah.
But I think like little baby America being as massive as it is, like it's a United Kingdom. You know, they're all different countries. I think at one point in time, and it's probably in record, but we would have to like actually understand it properly and go through it and look at it and not just like believe what history is that we were told, but it up into different countries because they were like, hey, we're way too big to govern.
Actually, whether that's true or not, I totally believe that because I think the conflict that we have with our Constitution, with our rights, is that they're outdated because of how large we've become.
And it's also, because it takes too long for change on such a large scale.
Yes.
But our country's like the divided yet united kind of thing.
Yes.
Of just the United States of individual. It's a great concept, but that's kind of what these countries that have their own rights. Right now, our countries, like the whole states' rights. This is funny because you look like you want to argue me so hard, and I need you to know that this is a Republican-held, like, fervent belief of states' rights. Angry right now at what I'm saying.
We got it all.
Well, welcome to the show, guys. I accidentally pressed something that got heated for a second, but welcome back. My name's Mandy. This is Mocktails.
To know or not to know, and my name is Raquel.
So, nice to see you today. I hope you enjoyed our intro.
Yes. Anyway, I think you got the gist of what we're possibly be talking about today.
That's like future episode stuff. I was just kind of bringing that up. I didn't expect to get that. So, stay tuned and subscribe if you want to.
If you want to hear more about that conversation. Republican belief that Amanda held. Holds, apparently.
I didn't say I held it. I was just explaining the belief. I just looked real passionate about it, so.
Anyway, moving on.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
She was like right up in there. Hi, guys. Let's see. I am wearing vegan shoes. I hunt. All the things. You can cut that if you want. I just think it's the funniest thing about my shoes is that they're vegan.
It is very funny. Also,
I need to get into freaking hunting because they're like a lightweight, waterproof shoe, and they're awesome.
They're never
so comfy, they're never gonna get into hunting. But it would be a great hunting boot if they did. Yeah. That patent just needs to expire so other companies can like get the technology.
You need some greedy SOB to come in here and be like, I don't care about your messaging under your boot. Your shoe into what it is. And that's capitalism, folks.
That's capitalism. It happens outside of capitalism too. I saw somebody try to argue that if like, oh, if you guys are so against capitalism, what do you think brings anime to the United States? And like went on this long spiel, and I was just like, that happens worldwide, regardless of their like monetary system or political system.
Even if you're a dictatorship, you still trade with other countries.
Yeah, that's just like business. The natural way of life.
People always trying to compare
capitalism
everything.
Speeds it up.
It does.
It does.
The thing I like about capitalism is that even if it's not perfect, it works. Socialism requires perfection, which we do not own as a race, or no, not race.
Race.
As a
species.
Thank you. Fucking Jesus. I'm a racist, I guess. Isn't that how it works out?
Ouch.
No, but perfection is just not something that humanity holds as a species. So
That's right. Soon enough, I'm gonna jump on board and just.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm not a racist, but humanist, because there's apparently like robot humanism. You heard that term yet?
Well, I mean, I think through like Netflix series, I've got the gist of what that means.
Netflix?
Yeah. Have you watched all the robot shows on Netflix?
Oh, no, transhumanism. That's the term.
Oh, okay.
Transhumanism.
I still feel like that relates. I don't know, explain.
Maybe. It's like more real life. Peter Thiel is like very pro transhumanism, which is essentially like robots and humans melding together.
Futurama?
And people. Well, I mean, that's like, what was that? Robomantic?
Yeah, there was like that.
That was Robomantic.
Yeah, it was the episode where the robots and the humans couldn't get married and they were like fighting for their rights.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see that happen in our lifetime, and it's gonna be our children that we're gonna be like the old geezers that are like,
you can't marry her, she's a robot.
Yeah. 100%.
Back in my day,
you think I'm joking?
No, I can see it now. Back in my day, we had normal people just cutting their penises off, and all of a sudden, you're trying to marry a robot.
All they wanted was to express themselves how they wanted to, and you could just let them have that. Now look at what we have. Look at Jimmy's over there trying to fuck a nut. He's trying to bust a nut on a nut.
On a nut.
That's not right.
It's
just not right.
Timmy, why can't you be normal? Just cut your penis off and put on the tutu.
Hopefully we're far enough in for YouTube's sake.
So, anyway.
Welcome back to reality.
What were we talking about transhumanism?
Peter Thiel. I don't know a lot about him, but Ninjas or Butterflies went a little bit of a deep dive into the dude, but he's in everything. Like, he's just a really rich dude. Like, one of the dudes that is above maybe not above Rockefeller specifically, but you know what I mean, of like the elites that you don't know the names of until you start really digging, and you're like, dude, you're in every.
I have a theory about the Rockefellers, because we hear their name all too often. I'm just like, are they really who they are? Are they really?
I think they probably were at one point.
At one point, but are we just so using it? You know, it's kind of like
it's a scapegoat.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a scapegoat.
They're just washing their laundry through the Rockefellers.
100%.
Yeah.
But Peter Thiel's like a modern day, like, he apparently was. Dog the Bounty Hunter had a lawsuit, and he like bankrolled it to help Dog the Bounty Hunter out at one point.
Dang.
But he's involved in transhumanism. He's involved in all this stuff. There was like a.
So he's involved for rights for humanity that don't exist quite yet.
Yeah, they were talking about like AI and implants, like Neuralink type stuff, in an interview, and he was asked,
"Okay,
but do you care about like the progression and survival of humanity?" And there was a pause. And he said, well, transhumanism, yeah.
I don't feel comfortable with that comment from a very rich, powerful person.
It's a little funky.
Yeah. You know, it's just like, the more that I see, like, I was rewatching, I think everybody by now that follows us, and hopefully this kind of continues, I'm a big fan of Black Mirror, and I don't think Black Mirror is just, like, episodic.
It's been a rough day.
It's been a rough day. Excuse the Red Bull. Is like just episodic or just for fantasy, because things that have even happened, because I was rewatching like old Black Mirror episodes, and I was like, that shit's happening now. And I think all of our shows just predict exactly what's going to happen.
Oh, or they're like specifically choosing and picking what to show and when to show it to get us used to what they're about to roll out on our reality. Right. Because, that was something I forgot to mention in our like preview. I wanted you to at least, maybe not today, but at some point, Apex. Is that what it was called?
Oh, yes, Apex.
That was some of our lost recordings.
Is it Apex?
That
I feel like it's Apex.
Feels right.
The Israel government
version
of the ECA. The Mossad.
And yeah, but it's not like.
It's not exactly the Mossad. It's just
I'm not gonna put you on the spot. I don't want
Yeah.
you to like but that, and then also the Pentagon having that division.
Well,
that is
yeah.
entirely based on
Yeah.
Hollywood creation and
The Pentagon owning part of Hollywood and deciding what's okay and not okay to have for our movies. And you'd be surprised too, they're involved in like a lot of the Avengers movies. I think Iron Man being one of the most popular that they're
absolutely,
Yeah.
because that is like pro heroism,
right.
and
Saving all of us
patriotism,
for things we don't know we need to be saved from.
sacrifice for the greater good, and things of that nature are very important in propaganda for America. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, no, one of these days I'll definitely get into the Pentagon funding
Yeah.
certain
So
parts
that's
of
something y'all
Hollywood.
missed, but we are hoping it was meant to be. The universe was
Yes.
speaking and just wanted you guys to get it with us being a little more
Authentic.
and advanced. And so
it's our message that we want everyone to hear, not just our very, very lovely following.
So
we love all 5 of you.
oh my gosh, I know. I'm like, do we throw a party at 20 subscribers or do we wait until 100?
I feel like 100 is a good number, but 20 still feels like a lot.
100 still feels like we're being a little bit braggadocious, to be honest, but
I know it feels
so special because we love you guys.
Okay, so weather modification.
So, basic explanation of weather modification is essentially just humans interfering with the weather pattern in some way, shape, or form. And it now we know, and it is public availability, that things like heat and radio waves and small things can trigger changes in the environment, can trigger changes in the weather pattern, and trigger precipitation. Some of the earliest versions were cloud seeding, and it's actually still used today.
Wow.
But cloud seeding went back into like the late 1800s, early 1900s.
Yeah, dude, I just find that wild every time you say it. I'm like, that's a long time to be modifying our weather.
Yeah, that's like as long as we go back to tracking our weather. So realistically, how do we even know what it naturally would have been had we not interfered? Because we didn't even track it before then.
Well, we've talked about climate change on this show, which we both have like our agreements and disagreements about. But I always come back to thinking about that. Like, how much did we have to, like, we blame fossil fuels and all these things that regular people use, but what was it that they were doing that actually affected
Fair, because like causation, correlation.
Right.
So yes, fossil fuels are very closely correlated to a raise in CO2 and fossil fuels in the atmosphere causing climate change.
Right.
But simultaneously, we were also dibble dabbling in the atmosphere.
I guess I just think, like, what if our math's off? Like, I think, like, yeah, so they say it's significant. But if we were doing this while we're doing this,
yes.
Like, is it, like, our math crossed over a little bit? Obviously, we've affected some shit.
Something.
One way or another, we've affected it.
During, like, COVID.
Obviously, we've affected some shit.
Something.
One way or another, we've affected it.
During, like, COVID, China's sky was changed over the course of, like, a month.
Well, so was LA's. The smog that was over LA for, 10, 15 years?
So cool. Which is cool, because that shows, like, how quickly I think Earth can heal itself.
Which is my theory, is that Earth actually heals quite quickly. It's just that humans are a lot more fragile.
Probably haven't given them a chance to heal very well, though. Anyways.
Not a great one to breathe.
Basic understanding. It's been around a really long time. It is currently widely accepted. Not a conspiracy theory, simply fact.
Right.
The conspiracies get into what's happening behind the scenes that we're not aware of, because there's a lot of laws, there's a lot of rules against weather modification for warfare, against weather modification for especially like mistreating your own people. So originally I wanted to talk about this after the Texas floods, because there was a lot of obviously conspiracies going around. Did we cause this? Everybody's pretty upset about that. even being like talked about. However, there was cloud seeding being done in the area the day of, and it was like agreed upon that week. He had permitting, so it's kind of weird.
I had heard about that just a random farmer had asked permission, and the government was like, sure. And literally right after that, they were
I haven't heard
announcing the
anything in that
floods.
sense, so I wish we had some updates on that.
We never will. Did we ever get any updates on the North Carolina?
No.
Did we ever get any updates on the North Carolina?
No. They're still struggling, by the way.
Yeah.
They're still living in tents. They're still really not.
That's how quickly we move on as a species. It's just like they're living in squalor, and we're like, it was a big deal for about a week, if that.
Oh yeah, but I mean that's kind of glitchy. So it's like kind of land grabby, like with the Miami. Oh my gosh, Malibu. Sorry guys, the Malibu fires. And then North Carolina, there's like lithium there.
Yep, that they were mining for, and they went directly in to mine for.
Large fields of lithium all over the areas that just flooded.
Well, like you brought up that they just tied in mineral, water, and oil rights into the same package deal.
Right. Gosh, I forget. It was something, water, the way that they get lithium, I believe, has to do with the salt brine and like it raises it up. Right. It's something weird to do with water rights, have a hefty part to play. Which I know, mining for lithium and or finding lithium.
I know from my understanding that mineral rights are kind of a hit or miss with land ownership, but
usually you're buying the land but not the mineral rights.
Right, exactly. Yes. But there's but the water rights on your property are yours to keep. Yes. And then they just kind of looped that in with mineral and oil rights.
Just in Texas at some point very shortly before the floods.
Interesting.
So water rights are basically in the hands of oil rig owners, and they already have all the facilities set up. They also happen to overlap with where all of this lithium is, which happens to also overlap largely with the areas that were affected by flooding.
So here's my theory and thought too, is that I always think of like these, the elitists or politicians, the people that we see the most talking about this kind of stuff, and they're like, I just feel like at some point they're gonna be, oh, we just, we didn't know. We didn't know. And I feel like they know. They know, okay, so if we allow this guy to do the cloud seeding, we can pin it on him, and we'll also be able to have a better advantage at these. I know it sounds like very evil and Batman-y almost.
Oh, we're going down the rabbit hole of like, well, yeah, but was it really even that guy?
Was it even that guy? Exactly. Was it even him?
Oh, they're having us look this way, but maybe me wanting to look this way instead of that way is the true diversion, and I should actually be looking over here, but wait, over there.
I gotta tell you, anytime they point in one
general direction, that's why they call it the rabbit hole, dude.
I'm like, it's not there. That's not the guy. That's not our guy. It's too obvious. It's like the Scooby-Doo episode where it's like, no, that guy's too obvious. It's that guy in the back, and it's always that, man. The monsters are never who we really think they are.
So I told you, which you all won't be able to see yet, but I'm going to tell you it again. So China has AI-powered cloud seeding drones now that specifically, instead of utilizing particles into the atmosphere, do some sort of radio wave stuff.
Right.
To very specifically trigger where needs water the most at that time. So I'm wanting to see if we can't find an example of this.
Okay.
Because it's like they're bragging about it, so we should be able to find. The Chinese government has successfully tested a drone-based cloud seeding experiment in Xinjiang, which involved dispersing silver iodide into the atmosphere to increase rainfall. Which, okay, so I'm mistaken there. This could be not related to what I was talking about. Because this one talked about it just being like radio waves. Regardless, it is AI based.
Of course, it's China.
And it's China, so they could be lying about it not being like dispersing stuff into the atmosphere. Who knows if they're being honest about that or not.
Well, considering they're the country that's mined to the center of the earth, which is damn near close.
Oh, videos of Chinese AI cloud seeding drone.
Okay. Check it out. It does seem to target.
But I mean, even in that, see how it's like, it's pulling the cloud of existing weather, and so it's affecting it. So yeah, we're pulling it here, but then it's going to keep traveling maybe in that direction, or be affected, or pull something else. It's such a balanced system that I just always worry about us, like, upsetting the balance.
So it is targeting certain areas and pulling clouds from the other areas to that targeted area.
Right.
So what are the conditions when it clashes into anything that's coming into it?
Yeah, that too.
And
And
then-
then, as you said, pulling from.
And we
So are we creating droughts in areas that would normally be experiencing a drought because of a change in... So all of this vegetation that's used to a certain amount of rain
right.
now doesn't have it, is increasing wildfire risks because it's not getting the rain that it's usually getting, because it's being rerouted down to areas that get an annual drought. Everything's used to it, but they've tried to create this metropolis of people with plants and yards and all of this stuff. So they're like, well, we need water here too.
And then when the fire starts, they cloud seed to pull more clouds towards that fire.
But then you're having fires in places like Canada and places that usually
normally
have
don't
heavy
have
snowpack, that don't have heavy
even
fires.
our area. Hurricanes, tornadoes, those kinds of things are caused from a certain amount of heat and cold air. So if you're pulling a storm cloud and a cumulus cloud towards you where there's a certain amount of heat, is that causing things like tornadoes and hurricanes and floods to happen?
Absolutely. I mean, as far as, like clashing.
Because it's not naturally occurring. I know that tornadoes and hurricanes are naturally occurring, but they're few and far in between, except for the last 20 years. It's just, we seem to have...
It's also, it seems to be in areas that didn't used to be Tornado Valley even in the last few years.
Right.
Where areas that shouldn't be getting tornadoes are getting tornadoes and such.
And have you heard about us being able to start our own wildfires with things like lasers, where they're able to pinpoint where they want to start the fire and start the fire without having a cause for it.
It's direct energy weapon.
The direct energy weapon.
Direct energy weapon, yeah.
Well, they talked about it being used in Hawaii during the Hawaiian fires.
I know. How do you feel about the blue being like not fire, not like impenetrable to the direct energy weapon?
What do you mean?
You haven't heard about the theory that the color blue doesn't get burned? And there's like pictures of like the California wildfires. There's like the VW bus that's like perfectly untouched, and it's like this pristine baby blue VW bus in the middle of just nothing but burnt.
I don't know how I feel about that theory, because I've also heard it for like the banks and for federal buildings too, don't seem to get hit either. And they're not necessarily blue.
But it's bricks.
But it's bricks.
That's kind of a silly one, because it's just because it's bricks and metal. And
but you can also burn down a brick building.
Kinda.
You'll have displaced bricks.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess you'd have to blow it up almost.
Yeah.
But if it is a high powered laser, you could.
Yeah.
But if you're just starting a fire in a residential area.
Yeah. Well, that's where like the blue thing is almost a secondary conspiracy theory that...
I'm gonna have to do my research on that, because I don't feel like I've done enough.
I haven't even heard of that.
No.
But even just the direct energy weapon, it existing isn't... It's conspiracy theory-ish, but it's there. It exists.
Right.
Like, there's proof.
No, I definitely believe in it. I believe in the direct energy.
The level of them using it on purpose, that is... Heck no, they're not gonna agree to that. Heck no, they're not gonna... And then the blue thing is just the next level of conspiracy theory. But then it's like, but hey, if that's true, that also shows that you definitely used it, because all of these houses with blue roofs are spared while every house around it's not.
Kind of like the whole painting lamb's blood on your door to save your firstborn.
But it happens to just be
Egyptian plague,
because they have a blue roof.
Yeah, but here's my thing too.
Weird.
I like going back to the Hawaiian fires. They were trying to get people to stay on the island. The only people that ended up surviving those went against government authority, went against the cops, and they went down the road that was supposedly supposed to be too dangerous to drive around by, and it was closed. But all it was is electrical wires exposed. You're in a rig with rubber tires. So electrical wires exposed are going to be far less dangerous than a fucking blazing wildfire. So some people were like, hell, I'm taking this route. I'm going to save my family. You're in a rig with rubber tires. So electrical wires exposed are going to be far less dangerous than a fucking blazing wildfire. So some people were like, hell, I'm taking this route. I'm going to save my family. People boiled in the ocean because of that.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
It was kind of similar with the tsunami, too.
But what
There's
happened?
just like one way in, one way out with roads and...
But what happened right after that? The elite went on in and bought a bunch of Hawaiian prime property. And for some reason, the vegetation and the trees were saved, but everyone's houses weren't.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting.
Is it Zuck that just bought a bunch in Hawaii?
Zuckerberg, Oprah.
No, but like just now expanded his ownership to like a lot more.
Well, I know Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos built their like apocalypse house out there. So says the theory, anyway.
I feel like that's the worst place possible to put your...
Absolutely, what the fuck? That's why I almost don't believe in it. So I'm like, they're supposed to have more knowledge than us. So if the world's really like, why would they build these houses where... But then I think they're idiots. They're actually not that smart. Like, they're just...
Because nobody else can get to it because there's a bunch of ocean around it, but it's also a very active volcano. Like, yeah, in 100,000 plus years, that island will be larger and more established, but you're not going to live to see that, and in the meantime, it's going to be destruction.
And the climate change you're selling is that everything will be dried up, so what's the point of being next to the fucking ocean if the ocean's dried up? There's no sea life, there's nothing to eat there.
That's so weird.
So, yeah, that's where I always just get lost. I'm like, are they fucking idiots, or do they know something that we don't?
Yeah. So that's kind of my gripe on climate change.
And cloud seeding.
And weather modifications
specifically. Well, yeah. Water.
And there's, I don't know, they still say that Harp and Gwen are not related, but I don't know, do your own research. Back when I was doing my research, you couldn't even find them. It was so deep cover conspiracy, like, what are you talking about? This isn't even a thing. And now you can find not just Wikipedia sources, but actual websites that describe what they do and a full explanation and a map of a place to get there. And they probably offer tours. But why was it so secretive if it's just it's just a research facility? We're just looking at how the radio waves interact with the ionosphere, and deal that also happens to be where the weather starts.
That's what I was talking about last week with freaking Macron, the French lady that's not a man, but everyone knows she's a man. It's like, why lie about it? It's like
somebody else on another podcast brought that up and was like,
okay, I know of it. I know what I'm talking about. But no, it's interesting because it's like what you're saying. If it was just testing, why lie about it? If you're trans, why lie about it? What aren't you saying is really what we're after. We don't really care. If you're testing for things, cool. But why are you fucking lying about it? You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. It's because they know something that we don't. Or they're covering something else deeper up. That's really what the answer is. You just have to be logical about it. They're humans too. Well, so they say.
I wonder how close the Stranger Things creators were to reality. Huh?
Well, Edgar Allan Poe, he said the line between reality and fiction is very thin.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I got a little bit. I want to hear about this Cracker Barrel rebrand. So
let me preface this with the fact that I worked at a Cracker Barrel and I absolutely loathe Cracker Barrel.
Okay, because I've eaten there once. And I don't know, it tasted fine. I could tell that they were basically just going to the kitchen and serving up off of what was probably a buffet line and putting it on my plate.
It's just a lot of pre-made food, really.
I could tell.
Yeah.
I could tell.
Yeah.
My guts could tell that it had been sitting on the buffet line for a little bit too long.
They leave their food under the heat lamp for too long. That's
Believe
for sure.
it. 100% won't go back. Nope.
No.
Anyways, so why is everybody mad about Cracker Barrel?
So Cracker Barrel hired three marketing teams. Their budget was over $700 million. And the most the marketing teams did was remove the old guy in the barrel. The restaurant's name is Cracker Barrel.
Okay.
And they removed the barrel.
And the old guy who was a cracker.
And the old guy that was a cracker.
We can say that we're white.
Yes.
That was a joke. I'm not that salty about it.
Nobody was. That's the whole point of this story. Nobody was. No, and it was funny because one of the ladies that was on the Garfield show, which is a Fox show, it's like a late night Fox show, and the guy, she's on the show, and she's like, I am from the South. I've eaten a Cracker Barrel 3 times. I just think it's funny that $700 million and 3 marketing teams, and they still didn't think to remove the name Cracker from the actual title. So they changed it from, and I'll show it, but they changed it from dude with the Cracker Barrel. And then they, just look it up.
Yeah, let's look it up.
We have technology.
Jinx, share me a soda.
You didn't count me down. Okay, so that's the new sign.
Because that's all they did.
That's all they did. $700 million. That's all they did.
I got into the wrong business, dog. What?
Yeah. Okay, now pull up a picture of the inside of the.
I mean, it's not like the goal was to change the name of the restaurant, though. Right?
Well, yeah, but like, why? I mean, it's so boring. I mean, anybody could have done that.
Yeah. I remember it being like going to like an amusement park, like
Yeah, so that's the old inside right there. So,
chaos.
yeah, well, it's less chaos, and then if you zoom into, you can see that it's mostly AI art. Like, there's just no character left to it.
I mean, it was kind of a cheesy ripoff, anyways. I'm not that upset.
I'm not very upset about it either. I just think it's fascinating that it took $700 million and 3 marketing teams to come up with this.
Yeah, the waste of money is.
It's just outstanding. Because what's the difference between that and that? Like, one's a little bit more cozy, one's a little bit more, like, new, I guess.
It's really, that entire budget goes towards the people sitting behind a desk and simply making a choice.
Yes.
Not the physical repurchase of all the art and doing the remodel, and so that's on top of that.
Yeah, so that would definitely be included, I would assume.
I would
in the
hope
overall
so.
price. I mean, I would hope.
Anyways.
I don't know. I just thought it was fascinating that everyone threw a fit.
Wastes money, like
B, just the waste of cost and interest and everybody's time in something that doesn't even matter. It's basically the country food version of McDonald's.
Southern comfort.
For sure. But guess what? Everybody threw such a big fit, including Democrats and Republicans alike. Were so pissed off about this. It united the country for like a whole 2 days. It was beautiful. They all came together and Cracker Barrel put the old guy back.
That's so funny.
And they put everything back. Then everybody was happy again.
So they didn't actually end up changing?
No, so they wasted $700 million.
So it is truly down the drain.
It is truly a waste of money. It is the biggest waste of money I have ever seen.
It seems like the dumbest reason for people to come together, though. I'm a little disappointed in y'all. Of all things.
Amanda, we can only hope for so much for humanity, okay? They're not all like us. They're not going to come over and come together.
Like
no. I don't want people to be like us either, but people don't come together over big things anymore. They come together over very small things make us all happy.
Like fairies.
Yes, we're like goldfish. Petty little beauty.
Of big things. You say that you've been so pro-giant that you've, like, argued for their...
Yeah, so...
I'm, like, fascinated. I did not expect this out of you. I thought you were going to be like, I don't know, like, Sasquatch?
Well, no. Like real giant people surviving. Like, real civilizations of giant people. I just want to understand what your definition of a giant is. Like, are we talking 20 kilometers, or are we just talking, like, 9 kilometers? That's why everyone else does it mathematically, so now I have it memorized that way. So are we talking like 9? Okay, hold on, rewind. We'll cut that out. Are we talking like 9 feet tall, or are we talking like 22 feet, 25 feet tall?
7.5 plus feet tall on average in like groups of them, but yeah, like 9-10 feet tall.
Okay, so yes, exactly. I do 100% believe this. That civilization of people existed. There was a lot of hoaxes for like 20 feet, 25 feet, and I kind of fell into it for a little bit, but they all turned out to be like giant hoaxes. But I definitely believe in a civilization of averaging 9 to 10 feet. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So what do you know about it?
So I know that there's a couple islands of people that they have found actual bones of these 9 to 10 feet tall people.
Okay.
Obviously the Bible mentions them as the Nephilim.
Okay.
And cave paintings, of course, the ancient aliens has found for giant hands and feet. That's mostly what I know.
Cool. Good, solid foundation.
It's not the best. I feel like if I had more time to prepare, I could have come up with some better shit, but...
I didn't know that you knew as much as you do, so I'm excited. The Lovelock Caves.
Yeah, okay. God damn it,
so you know about the Lovelock Caves?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Kandahar Giant?
Yes.
Okay. Do you, like, know the stories?
I'm familiar. I watched a couple of YouTube videos, but I'd like to know what you have to say too about that.
The Kandahar giant,
Because I feel like it's more like top of mind for you.
kinda.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. Blew my mind. It was told to me very, very well.
The Lovelock Caves, they had flaming red hair, right?
Yeah, so is the Kandahar giant.
Yes.
So redhead seems to be a fairly common.
And it's like flaming red.
Yeah, I think just a redhead is flaming red to somebody that's never seen a redhead.
True, okay, I guess I understand.
Because that's how. Because it's the Lovelock Caves are like the Navajos,
yes.
the Native Americans in that area and how
Right.
they described those. So of course it's flaming red.
Right. Because they're used to like very dark hair.
Absolutely. That'd be like a blonde is like, oh my god, it's angelic white.
Yes. It's pure white. It's a dirty blonde, folks. Calm down.
So the Kandahar giant, this was like Desert Storm era, like early 2000s. Not. Yeah.
This is more recent.
Yeah. So this was, and this a group of very well trained Marines go in, and I think they had a vague understanding that they're doing something hostile, and they didn't quite understand.
Yeah.
And they go in, and with all of their very high powered rifles, fully automatic, and a sphere comes out and just right in the middle of all these people. And it's this big around.
Wow.
And huge and massive. And everyone's just like, what in the world are we getting into? And then finally it comes out and they end up fighting it. I think it took like multiple swarms of people to finally get this thing down. They didn't end up killing it, but from the reports of the stories, they were able to airlift it out. So the United States government military has a giant. It's so fascinating that it like kind of still exists. And I think like 6 fingers is another common like thing.
Well, and that was in the Bible with Goliath and David. Goliath had 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each feet. On each foot.
Yes.
So that is related back to giants. And guess what? Goliath had red hair.
Yes. No, the Lovelock Caves are fascinating as well. I love all of the native lore and stuff. This is they're not making this shit up, dude.
No, it again goes back to it for me that it's not just some people making it up. There are actual scientists and anthropologists that have gone out to these areas and been like, yes, it's real. It exists. Like, I've seen it with my own eyes. So it's not just why risk everything you went to school for, everything that you ever wanted to be, just to be like, oh, yeah, giants are real, and then have everyone discredit you.
Yeah. I mean, because the Smithsonian Museum pays you to shut up and go away.
Right. Well,
that's jokes.
I think too, the thing that came to mind when you actually said that was all of the hoaxes of like the 20 and 25 foot giants that are totally unrealistic kind of took our eye off of the fact that there used to be giants at one point, but it's like 20 feet and you see this 20-foot giant, right? And then it's like, oh, it's not real. Right. And then you see a 10-foot giant and you're like, there's no such thing as giants.
Yeah, okay.
Perspective, I guess.
So that's like almost like a psyops to get people off of.
I feel like everything is a psyops.
Everything's a psyops.
Yeah, if they say it's a hoax and they go real hard on it being a hoax, I'm like, oh, then.
How do you feel about it going more into like the interdimensional sphere? The giants are like interdimensional beings, and that like the Lovelock Caves and stuff. And there might be like portals in those areas. Have you heard some of those stories?
Well, have you heard of like the M Cave over in Nevada? Yeah,
so the guy went and found it, and then he tried to go find it again, and he disappeared.
Yeah, and everybody was like, "Oh, he might have been suicidal," but
found
it. But yeah,
that's a good one.
It's
Mile
a great
Higher.
The Y Files does a whole episode about that.
Mile Higher does a really good episode on him too. They're so like compassionate and stuff too, so they're really great.
I know the Y Files did a great job bringing up his mental health, but like these different. Yeah. But at the end, he kind of made it seem like he believed that he disappeared in the M Cave too.
Probably.
And I think we're all like, yeah, Kyle. Wasn't his name Kyle? Shit, what is his name? It's either Thomas or Kyle. Super cool guy. I actually learned a lot about him on the Wi-Fi. I was like, he tried to invent a bunch of stuff, and then he was like, he went to that desert a lot, and people actually begged him to go back, and he ended up going back, and that's why he disappeared.
Yes, because he told the stories, and they're like, you gotta go, like, show us. Like, what are you talking about?
Kenny. Kyle Thomas. Kenny.
Basic white guy name. Kenny Leach. Find the MK.
Yeah. So much interesting stuff on him. So actually, no, I'm kind of on board with giants coming from, well, and there's a lot of evidence that aliens might have had something to do with our evolution or how we got here, or especially the pyramids. I mean, we can never forget the pyramids.
I know, I definitely...
Even if we can come up with a way that we built them then, there's no reason for it to have the energy field that we've proven. We've taken pictures of it, been able to capture the energy that is around the pyramids. So it's undeniable that it's there. It's not just a theory. It is some kind of beacon.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Did you see the... They talked about it on Ninjas, because they're in, obviously, Florida. But I guess there's this pyramid in Florida that is, like, modern. But this guy built it on his own. And he would never let anybody see
I have
him.
not heard anything about this.
He'd let people come in and do tours. Like, he just made, like, a little bit of money here and there. Like, a quarter kind of a thing to take a tour back in the day. And let me see if I can find it. Coral Castle. Okay. So it's called the Coral Castle, created by a single man using a mysterious box showcasing the ingenuity of a single individual. So there was basically this entryway gate that the way they described it was essentially it's just a large piece of stone.
Right.
And it was like on just an old ball bearing in the center, and it was balanced so perfectly that it was it just was machined ever so perfectly, and that's how it functioned. Just a child could just push it and then go through, and it would just spin. And that was the door.
Interesting.
And it, like, he died, and then it stopped functioning, and it took, like, heavy equipment, a team of engineers to figure out how it functioned, to fix it, to, like, figure out how to fix it. This man did it by himself in the dark. Like,
that's amazing.
So, and apparently he went and found, like, some ancient knowledge, is how he got all of this information. I think he wrote a book.
He came at me with the I came and built that freaking bat. We don't even know what it does.
Crazy.
Florida do the place too.
Yeah. No, I remember that part. That was super crazy. I don't know anything else about it, but yeah, that's insane. But yeah, basically people would bring, like, trailers with stuff, like, materials, supplies that he would need. And he would always, everybody has these weird stories about this guy. They'd be like, all right, well, here it is. He's like, all right, buddy, well, you want to come back and get your truck in a little bit? Like, you go do, and then there's been people that kind of refuse. They're like, no, dude, like, I'll just hang out here. I don't have anywhere to go. And then he'd just kind of, like, twiddle his thumbs and, like, try to, okay, well, I'm gonna go. Do you want something to drink? And at one point, they'd finally be like, okay, well, I gotta use the restroom. And he'd, like, hurry and go show where the bathroom is. And then they'd come back out, and the thing would just be, like, off the truck bed.
What the fuck?
Where they were gone long enough to pee, and they come back, and it's just moved. Nobody knows what information he had, but he, I think, had whatever mysterious way the Egyptians built the pyramids. I think a lot of it has to do with, like, sound wave and stuff, which they're starting to figure out sound wave for cancer treatment.
But how the fuck did the Egyptians have the technology for that? You know, without any kind of interference or given knowledge?
Because it wasn't the Egyptians just...
They just hosted the party.
No, I think they just found the pyramids. I think it was ancient humans.
You think way before?
I do absolutely subscribe to the theory that aliens at some point genetically modified humans.
I 100% think that was something.
I think it was even way before Egyptians. I think it was such an ancient human race that it was like the Atlanteans or even pre-Atlanteans, like the people that the Younger Dryas took out.
And I always wonder if even humans are, like, Earth is their actual home. Like, you know, if we had we come from somewhere else, that would be alien, you know, intervention. Right. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Very similar carbon-based creatures to us that we are, like, our ancestors.
Yeah, or even, like, maybe when Neanderthals were roaming the Earth and whoever... human sapiens, we were, like, close enough related. We just, like, landed here, and then we're like, oh, look at these monkey creatures that are kind of like us.
Yeah.
A couple of them were nice enough to, like, show us the turf, and we bred with them, and that's why we have Neanderthal DNA still. And
have you ever really, like,
looked
into, like, the Neanderthal history, though? Like,
We're saying it like idiots too. It's Neanderthal.
Neanderthal.
Yes.
Like, they dominate humans. So there's no reason that we should have out-survived them.
Other than
that our heads.
the tools.
But we also say things like mate, and they were nice enough, but they raped a lot of us. Like,
Probably.
yeah, a ton of us.
Yeah, maybe the DNA is literally just from like the surviving victims that got back to their people.
It's always what it is,
and
too.
Then raised the halfling.
How many romance stories do we actually really have?
Yeah.
It's always rape. It's always graping. It's always being taken against our will.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, it could have worked the other way around. I mean, the women Neanderthals could have had a liking for the male Homo sapiens. I mean,
I suppose.
It's not totally unrealistic.
That would also make more sense why they inevitably got wiped out and not just figured out. And it also probably started.
But they were pretty smart. They had musical instruments.
Yeah. Well, I just mean like I don't know what I mean. Sorry, I interrupted you to say. I mean, I don't know what I mean.
Well, I kind of interrupted you to tell you that they were smart. Clearly, they're smarter than us.
Smarter than the two of us right now.
No, they had they did have a full language. They did read. They did make musical instruments. They did quite a bit, and they were much stronger and much more equipped to deal with the weather on Earth than we are. That's a huge thing that I think about. They didn't need anything to survive it, and we are very fragile compared to them. Mm-hmm. So it's
almost like we don't belong here.
Almost like we don't. Interesting.
So strange.
Well, someday I'll get into my theory of the lost years and the Great Reset and how... I mean, we've all heard me talk about the Cabbage Patch Kids, but
yeah,
all of it ties together.
With that, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's exciting. Goodness. Okay, you gotta talk about this new law. So.
Oh, fuck. Okay, can you look up the Indian guy who killed 3 people? That's all over.
We need to get back to reality. That was fun, but
it was
woo woo.
We went off on a woo woo.
Killed by migrant Indian truck driver in Florida.
Yes.
Okay.
So
he made an illegal U-turn.
So Harjinder Sai made an illegal U-turn and he wrecked into a Chrysler minivan and he killed a family of 3. Okay. Which invoked an already 1981 is when they made the law that everyone had to be 21 years or older to drink alcohol. Before that, it was 18. And most states could make up their own laws and regulations that had to do with alcohol. But because they were seeing such a high intake of violent vehicle accidents, they decided to move the age to 21. And any federal government not complying would be fined. So any state that was like, no, we're not going to comply, we're going to let it be 18, they're like, no, it will fine your state for that. So they made it a federal law. Everyone had to be 21 years or older. And then, of course, the DUIs law set in and things got more serious with DUIs, drinking and driving. The last time any of that was challenged in the Supreme Court was 1987. Ever since then, we've all had this agreement. So they're doing the same thing now. Most states have their own laws when it comes to driving and licensing. Right. But there's a few federally they have to follow. So Trump is trying to use the Supreme Court to make an executive order that no state is allowed to hand out a license to anyone if they cannot pass both a verbal and a written language exam, an English language exam. If you cannot pass it, you cannot drive trunket. You cannot have a license, and you cannot drive trucks, semi-trucks, specifically in the United States of America. Okay.
So specifically related to commercial driving, but it would still allow foreigners that are non-English speaking to drive just like passenger cars?
No. I think that the executive order is supposed to be that no state is allowed to hand out a license to somebody that doesn't speak English.
I could see it on a CDL level, but I do see why people would be upset if it was like on like a private level too.
The funny thing is that they're actually more upset about the CDL level because they're claiming that these people are just hardworking people trying to provide for their families. But the problem is, and I of course have my own beliefs on this.
There's like a log that you have to keep track of. There are like so many different signs. Like I could see like as a citizen you could get used to your local jurisdiction signs based on what they look like.
Sure.
But even like just as an average Joe that speaks English and knows how to drive and is just from America, when you go to a different state, their signs are different. So just relying on like the visuals alone would be really difficult. And
Well,
I can imagine CDL is obviously over the road truckers. So.
The thing with this accident is that it said no U-turns unless it is a vehicle or a you might think, well, I have a CS, I'm authorized, but that really actually just means for emergency vehicles only.
Right.
And they know how to make
it was a very like heavy word sign, not just symbols and such.
So of course the Republicans are all for it and the liberals are not, because they think everyone has the right to work in our country. I don't agree. You can say what you want, but I don't agree. I don't think that I don't have the right to go to Germany and just work in Germany.
I wonder how that works because a lot of over the road, they're not necessarily driving on a United States license either. Sometimes they're helping transport goods between Canada.
That's usually between
Mexico,
a port.
America. And
that's usually between a port, and that goes back to knowing your local town and being able to get around. You're probably going to the same ports.
Yeah.
And they're going to have both English and Spanish, or English and French, or English and alternative language to the port. So it'll be easy for everyone to understand. We don't have that everywhere in the United States.
Yeah.
And so what's to say? Well, they just change it to so you have Spanish and English signs. Okay, but this was an Indian guy. So should we have, how many languages are we? That's going to get confusing for people to be driving around on the roads.
Yeah, it just wouldn't.
And what other countries are doing that? Nobody. So the expectation for people to come over here, and the other thing is truck driving is a great job, and they're not truck driving for their country. They're truck driving for our country. They work in our country under an American licensed company. And the fact that they even said it in the news article, an asylum-seeking Indian crashed. It's like, you're trying to make it seem...
brought up like his, it brought up that he's on probation, and it brought up, I just don't see, just like with the gal that you were talking about, like, the crap that she could be a trans woman, that she's like maybe a pedophile.
That she could be that's exactly.
Why do we focus on the wrong?
I don't really care that he's an illegal immigrant. He killed 3 people. Yeah. That's what I care about. Like, it comes down to your morality and your priorities at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
So I guess the whole point of this is that I do agree with the executive order. I think that if you go to Germany, you need to speak German and have the right papers to be there to drive and work legally, just same as you would if you went to Mexico or any other country. I think that those stipulations are okay, and they keep everybody pretty safe. I don't see how that's a controversial thing to say.
Yeah, I can see on like the commercial side of things it being.
I understand where you're coming from.
I'm wondering if it's private. That's what I was kind of searching right now, because I'm wondering if it would cover like.
But I will say that
private citizens.
I really don't think that there should be a whole lot of illegal immigrants in anyone's country. So I don't think.
Yeah, but you could be a legal citizen and still not speak very good English.
But how rude is it that you have lived here? You should just know through osmosis. You've lived here for 15, 30 years. You don't know. You haven't picked up enough English to speak.
I mean, that's not necessarily saying that they don't speak. That's just saying that they don't feel as comfortable, and they couldn't necessarily pass a test in that, and like reading and writing is different than being able to have a basic conversation at a grocery store.
We consider it the test is pretty low bar. It's not that hard of a test.
I don't know. We got Californians moving to Idaho pretty upset they have to retake a DMV
Fair
test.
enough.
So. Yeah, warning, if you move to Idaho, you have to retake a written test.
Absolutely, yes. It sucks. I took the driving test in Oregon, Idaho, and California. And the only one I failed.
You moved away and had to get residency again. Oh,
Idaho.
It's a weird one.
It's very
People really struggle with it because it's like
you think California would be harder.
We have rural. Well, it's because of the rural laws are really throw people off because cows have right of way.
Right, and the bridge one throws people off too because we have a lot of ice on our bridges. And they don't really understand how a bridge gets icy and when it's dangerous to cross.
I can't find the answer to the question I want. It's fine though. But I could see that's the only controversy that I could see in where I would definitely, if I was in the room, say that we should like think a little bit more on it, is if it would impact private citizens.
I think it mostly
because it's just a car, it's smaller. Trucks, commercial driving, I can understand holding to a higher standard.
Right.
And that's coming from like a family with like 80% of the men that I'm related to have a CDL. Right. So I get it.
Well, a lot of the men in those areas were saying too, they were like, I 100% back up this executive order. It's very hard to communicate with them. I have to communicate through the dispatch to them, so there's that language barrier.
Yeah.
Communication isn't getting
Because
through
that's really
correctly.
important with CDL driving, even long truck, is to be able to communicate with your other truckers on the road,
Right.
to be able to, like, there's a lot of that. Like, people just on the road, we're not on a walkie-talkie with the guy next to us being like, hey, dude, hey, is there up there on the blah blah?
Dinner niner, yeah. No, I get it, because for me too, it's not even like, I don't view it as like a political thing or like, get those immigrants out of our country.
Just a
I
safety thing.
view it as just like a common
Yeah.
safety thing that every country should have, you know? It makes sense. I understand why those laws and procedures need to be there. And if you don't give a crap about the 3 people who died, that's a humanity problem you have within yourself. That's not a political thing.
It's interesting. Everything can be controversial, though, can't it?
Everything can be turned into controversy. We're so
Much
sensitive in
so.
our day and age. It's ridiculous. Get over yourselves. Everyone's trying to provide for their families. You're not the only ones out there. And now they're trying to keep them out. It gets better. The Indian government got involved in our government. The guy's lived here for 15 years.
They're upset now?
They're upset and want us to release him with no charges because it was a serious mistake. Yeah. They're blackmailing our country.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
not cool.
Yeah, and it's like, you're your own country. We don't have say in your country. Why do you have a say in our country? Just because the guy is Indian.
Not some diplomat.
No, he's a regular Joe Schmo. And it's like, so you don't have a right to tell us what we're going to do with our criminals. And they all even, I'll show you the video, but it was like they were passing around
That's sketchy too, because we might be forced to extradite him back to
his country and completely get away.
Because otherwise that'll screw it, because we need the agreement that
Exactly.
if somebody goes to India, they'll extradite for us.
Right. Well, and you have to. I'll wrap this up, but if you fuck someone over now, how bad is it going to hurt in the future? We're already on the verge of all these wars. So I get it. I see it from all points. But it's shitty that India would freaking blackmail us for something like that. Let us. Your man's been over here for 15 years. He was driving a truck for 15 years. He didn't learn the language. Killed 3 people. All right.
Well, we got an upset babe, so we gotta get to. Thank you guys so much.
Hold on, buddy. Hold on just a sec. I know. Hold on. Okay, I'll go get him right after this. Okay, I'll block out the noise at the end.
I don't know if you can hear the upset babes, but we are sorry.
Yes, we do. Our time is up anyway. We have to keep our video short, otherwise we'll talk for 3-4 hours. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us, and always keep an open mind, but not so open that your brain falls out.
Just keep challenging your bias.
And have a great night.
Good night.